Today we're going to be cooking a smoked beef brisket. We've got a whole packer brisket right here, 11 and a half pounds. There's the meat side. You see it's got a lot of fat on it. There's the fat cap. And so we're going to show you how to prepare this, cook it on our Traeger smoker, and have a wonderful meal. Okay, here we have unwrapped our hunk of meat. This is the fat cap side. We want to dry it off as much as we can. We're going to end up trimming this. We want about a 1/4 inch thick of the fat cap left on it. This is the flat side. This is called the point. So we're going to kind of look at it, see where we've got a lot of fat, and you can tell, especially looking along here, there's a pretty good bit there. So we're going to start trimming that off. Same thing here. Now this has been sitting out. I let it sit out to come to room temperature because it'll start cooking better that way. So trimming it may have made trimming it a little bit more difficult, but as you can see, it's working it. Got a little too crazy there. Got into some meat. That's all right. A little bit more here. Yeah, this would trim better if it was cold, but that's all right. So there we go with that. Maybe a little more here. Yeah, we got a pretty good bit there. Remember, we want to leave about a 1/4 inch on there. That's going to help with the flavor and the moisture. Okay, so that's the fat cap side. Got a little squirrely there, but that's all right. So we're going to flip it over. See one more place. Yeah, squirrely there too, but never mind. Here on the back, or the meat side, we want to get all of this off. We don't need any of that down here. Careful not to end up in the ER today. Boning knife would probably do better at this part. that silver skin kind of stuff we want to get off. The sun is warming this up quite nicely. Just get the big pieces, don't worry about it too much. You just want to be able to get the seasoning in on this part, because we're going to cook this with the fat cap down, which surprised me, but that's what the recipe calls for, and it actually works very well. The recipe I'm using is from Traeger. TraegerGrills.com. I'm not a paid spokesperson or anything. I just find that's a good source of recipes. Okay, that's close enough. So we will, again, dry that off as much as we can. And then we got a nice big fat slab of meat. Looks like I could do a little bit more on this side. Always watch your fingers when you're doing this. Don't worry, it doesn't have to look pretty. It's going to look pretty on your plate. All right, that's all the trimming we're going to do right now. All right, now it's time to make our dry rub. And the dry rub for the outside of this is going to have, looks like 6 ingredients. We're going to get 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1, 2, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 1, 2 tablespoons of paprika. Some people use smoked paprika. If you got it, use it. If you don't, or you don't like it, don't use it. Use regular paprika. 2 teaspoons of chili powder. You can tell I use exact measurements too, right? Okay. Then 1/3 cup of Jacob's salt or kosher salt. Kosher works fine. This is some smoked sea salt that I made on the Traeger. So we're going to use that. Add a little smoky flavor to it. Why not? All right. And then 1/3 cup coarse ground black pepper. The recipe says divided, but I don't know what it's divided for. We're going to put 1/3 cup in there too. You can't have too much black pepper on a brisket. And there we go. So we're going to take that, mix it up. I have some that I have made the last time I cooked brisket, so I'm just going to throw that in there too. No sense in having it multiple places. I'm just going to take the top on this and do a little Beatles, shake it up baby now. There we go. It should be all mixed up there. Let's see if we can get the lid off. Oh yeah, it looks really nice. Okay, so we're gonna put this on the outside all over the brisket and use as much of it as we can. At the same time, we're gonna go ahead and get the grill started. Gonna come over, turn it on, open the lid, and that'll let that smoke get started. It shouldn't take more than about 5 minutes for it to be ready. So in the meantime, we're going to take the rub and generously, just handfuls, put it on this fat side. I'm doing the fat side first because that's the side that's going to go down on the grill. Pat it in, rub it in. You don't have to be gentle with your meat. You can beat it all you want. But we're getting this all over, not being conservative with it at all. This is going to help us with flavor. Give us a nice crust. Some of this is going to fall off when I turn it over. That's all right. Ooh, let's get some in there. Hee-hee. All right, over we go. Some of that's going to do that, so we're just going to scrape it back in so that we lay the meat back down on it and get this other side. And for this, you know what? We're just going to use it all. Because a good bit's going to be left on the paper. So here we go. Rubbing that in. Ooh, baby. Yeah. Get that meat really good and seasoned. See and smell, actually. I smelled it before I saw it, but we've got smoke. So very quickly I'm going to get my hands off. Temperature's going up to 225. We'll close the grill. Alright. Going to turn on, this is the temperature cook. We're going to cook the brisket and it will stall. It won't go any higher unwrapped till it's 160 degrees. Then we're going to wrap it in foil, put a little beef broth in there to help keep the moisture, and cook it to an internal temperature of just under 200. And then we let it rest, and the temperature will actually come up to temperature while the meat is resting. So since it's a temperature cook, I'm going to be using this is a Weber iGrill 2 thermometer. It will connect to Bluetooth to my phone or to my iPad, and it's got a space. All that is just magnetic, so it sticks to the grill if that's where I want it. And it has up to 4 probes that we can use. So we're going to use this. I'm going to turn it on. Tells me it's on. Now the probe that's in there right now tells me the internal temperature of the grill. And that is, according to the grill, it's 179. According to this, for the sunshine, yeah, it's something like that. 201, but it keeps rising. So somewhere in between the two is probably right. So I'm going to take this second probe, because that device will handle 4, and I'm going to put this in the thickest part, which is right here, of this meat. I put that all the way in. Like so. I want it to be about in the middle. And then once I put it on the grill, I'll plug this in, and this will let me monitor the temperature as it cooks. I can set it to give me alarms. Of course, you'll need the app. Of course, everything's got an app, but you'll need the app that comes with it, or that you can download to monitor those things. I find that this is a really great tool for using with the Traeger, because most of the cooks, most of the recipes are temperature cooked. You cook the meat to the desired temperature, not a certain amount of time. And that's the beauty of these. It's very simple. So while we're waiting for the grill to heat up, it should be pretty close. It's close enough. I'm gonna open it up. We're gonna take this big beauty, and the fat cap side is down now, remember that? And I'm gonna take it. Actually gonna do it this way. I put the firebox is over here, so I put the fattest part of the meat. The firebox is about there, but I put the fattest part of the meat here because I think that end gets a little hotter. Now I'll take the temperature probe, run it through the hole. The hand's a little white. And then plug the probe into hole number 2. What's behind door number 2, Monty? There we go. So that's telling me that the temperature is 55 degrees. So that's warmed up a pretty good bit from the refrigerator, which is what, 39, 40 degrees? 37, depends on what you got it set at. And we'll take some more of this rub and just put it on there. Because I don't know if you can tell, let's see. There was quite a bit left. So it's not going to hurt it at all. Keep that on there, it'll help it make a wonderful crust. There we go. It's set, grill's closed. We're going to cook this until the temperature reaches 160 degrees. And once it does that, then we're going to go to the next step, and we're going to wrap it in foil, put a little bit of juice in there, and let it cook and finish till it's about 197 or 198. Okay, welcome back. Our meat is up to 160 degrees now, so it's time to take it off the smoker, wrap it in foil, give it a little bit of some beef broth, and put it back on and go for the next higher temperature, which is going to be about 100, between 195 and 200. So the grill has been closed ever since the last step. So we'll open that. Oh, look at there. Oh, that's pretty. Alright, now I have to be careful with the probe. I don't want to mess all that up, so I'll unplug it there. And I'll pull it through. And I'll put it back once we get everything wrapped. So here we go. Set this right here. And I hope that I pulled off enough foil, because if I didn't, I'm going to have to start this again. So, meanwhile, I'll close the grill. And I can remove the gloves because that was hot. Very hot. Set those there. So I've got a double layer of foil down, and again, I hope it's going to be enough. It should be. All right. Since we're going to pour liquid in here, yeah, I'm going to have to use something over the top, I can tell. We'll do better next time. So in that case, what I'm going to do now is make sure that liquid won't escape. Hold this foil up a little bit. And we're going to use a can of beef broth. So I'm just going to take it, pour it over the meat. It's too bad this isn't smell-o-vision. This smells really good. So there we go. Can of beef broth. And so what I'm going to do with another piece of foil, fold it over, just kind of cover the top here. Like so. Then I can come up sides. Temperature probe is still there because remember, we're cooking to temperature. So there it is. It's nice and wrapped. Back on the grill. And there we go, we're ready for the next step. So we're going to close the grill. Oh, not yet, we're not. I'm going to put the probe, plug the probe back in. Tangle. Pull that through, plug it back in. Perfect. That took about 5 to 6 hours. So we're going to let that go until the temperature gets to between 195 and 200, and then we'll pull it off, we'll let it rest, and slice it up. So, on to the next step. Okay, we're back. I'm going to show you the temperature probe showing 198. So we have reached the desired temperature. So we're going to take it off the grill now. Open up the foil, let it rest, and then we'll give it about probably 30 minutes to rest before we try to slice it. So here we go. Take the temperature probe out, or unplug the probe. Remember, this has a lot of juice in it. So we're going to set that there. The grill off. This has an awful lot of juice. Now that juice, the liquid's going to be mixed with fat. So one of the things that I want to try to do is drain that. Take my gloves off so I can actually feel what I'm doing. Our total cook time has been about 9 hours. So this is a gravy separator. And so I'm going to kind of take this as carefully as I can. Let all that liquid drain in. And what the gravy separator will do is I can let that sit. And I'm sorry you can't see this, but it's just the way that the camera angle. But I can let that sit and the fat will separate, and then I can drain the juice from the bottom. So at this point, I'm going to set this to the side for a second, put my gloves back on, pull it out of the foil and let it sit on the cutting board. You can see how beautiful this is. Oh my goodness, look at that. There's a little more juice left in the pan. Pour that into the separator. Okay. Pull the probe. That aside and get it washed up a little bit. And there you have our brisket. Now, it's important to let it rest because the meat gets tight when it's cooking. It'll actually gain temperature. It'll get warmer while it's resting. And when the meat's tight like that, when you let it rest, it loosens and the juices can flow throughout all of the meat. So you can see we've got a nice crust there. And now we're just going to let it sit for about 30 minutes. Have a couple slices. See how we did. See how it looks. Okay, we're back. The meat is rested for half an hour. So now it's time to slice into it, and let's see what our final result will be. So we'll start on the flat end. Cut that end off. Oh my. We want the slices to be about the thickness of a pencil. Now let's just take a look at this. It's so tender, it just pulls apart. Got a very nice smoke ring across the top on the meat side. Let's give it a taste. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Tender. The pepper on there is, oh, it's spectacular. So let's, now that you've seen that, again, there's another piece. So pretty, so pretty. I have to have another bite. Ha! Let's see what we have on the point side. Again, about the thickness of a pencil. Ooh, still hot. Look at that. Look at it glisten. Oh, it's so pretty. Nice where the meat is. We've got that pink smoke ring. Now this, as you can see, there's a little bit of fat in between. We can just pull that right apart. Oh, so yummy. Oh, so yummy. So there we have that. And that, so you can see, this is absolutely delicious. I'm enjoying myself. But anyway, so there we have it. About a 9-hour cook. Let it rest for 30 minutes. And just nothing but delicious. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Maybe you didn't. I'm sure you can teach me some things. So with that, bon appetit.